Steve, you got third place, man.
Third in what?
Your Clydesdale category.
All right, it is race day. First race of 2026 for me, so let's see how this thing goes. If you're new here, my name is Steve. I'm a husband, a dad to 3 amazing boys, and a guy with a full-time job and big dreams. I'm on a journey to get healthy and fit through mountain biking, proving to my kids and myself that you don't have to give up on your goals, even when life's full. If you're trying to hold on to your dreams while showing up for your family, you're not alone. Welcome to the ride. All right, so I'm in the parking lot. I made the 2-hour drive to somewhere central Pennsylvania. Couldn't tell you exactly. I think it's just north of Harrisburg. It's the Rattling MTB marathon. I'm doing the long course today. This is one of the events that's part of a series that I think it's Transylvania Productions puts on, and I did this race last year, and last year was very interesting. It was the first time I had done it, and it is a very difficult course. There's a lot of single track, and there's a lot of big long rock gardens, a lot of technical riding. So that's difficult, and I don't do that all that much. But last year was a very strong lesson in not fueling properly for me, mostly leading up to the race, not as much during the race, but that was certainly a part of it too. But I started cramping up maybe midway. I think it was before the midpoint of the race, and it never stopped. And I just kept going. I thought it was a lesson of pushing through cramps and understanding what my body can do and can't do and stuff like that. But I suffered for days. I think it was more than a week before I felt like I was starting to train like normal. And really it came down to not fueling, not carb loading, not fueling in the days leading up to the race. And I was in a deficit because I was trying to lose weight. So I went from a deficit, calorie deficit, carb deficit, to a hard race. And I was hoping for maybe 4 hours. I didn't really know what to expect. And I ended up coming in almost dead last, which was my goal, to not come in dead last. So I meet my goal. But it was 4 hours and 40 minutes, right around there. And it was rough. So I was really excited this year to come back. And, after that race, I started doing some more carb loading in the days leading up to a race, and had seen how tremendous that was for me. It was a huge unlock to be topped up, going into a race, and then be able to fuel during the race and be like, wow, I can do this, and I get to the end and I'm still alive and functioning. So I was excited to come back and put it all together, but that wasn't in the cards. So I tried to do the same thing, but I didn't quite remember the things that I ate and exactly how. So I was putting it together as best as I could from memory, and I must have had the wrong types of carbs. Maybe it was too much too soon, a combination of things, and my stomach has been a wreck for the last 24 hours. And at first I just thought I had a cold. I had maybe the flu or something like that. I started with just some gas and some looseness. Spare you the details. I thought that I was going to be sick. But yeah, I thankfully didn't get too bad. And then last night I was trying to get down my dinner, and I did finish it, but I was forcing myself to, and it almost made me sick to do that. But got a hot shower afterwards, and that actually started to make my stomach feel a little bit better, and moved around a bit. So it just kind of there was enough things that gave me the clue that I had really distressed my stomach, and through I was eating, and it probably wasn't that I was sick. And so, yeah, long story short, this morning I'm a little dehydrated, a little bit of a headache, haven't eaten quite as much. Wasn't really able to drink my coffee, but I'm here. I made the drive. I figured I'd show up to the start line and just see how I felt and see what happened. And now I'm gonna, my intention is to start and just ride and see how it goes. I've changed my fueling plan a bit to accommodate. I'm not gonna, pound some carbs right at the beginning. I don't think my stomach's gonna be able to handle it. So we'll see how the day goes, but I will bring you along. So initially, again, I was hoping to crush it. I plugged my time into best bike split, which does not do well for mountain bike races as best I could figure, because it's not steady state. You put out a lot more power for a lower average speed, especially through all the rock gardens. So it was like, your time is going to be 2.5 hours. And if it was, then I would have beat the fastest time for the last couple of years. So that's not correct. I was hoping for maybe under 4 hours this year. And now I don't have any expectations necessarily. I'm just going to go and take it kind of one major section at a time. So, yeah, I'm here. Got the bike set up. I think I have everything that I need. Certainly hope so. I at least got the essentials. And I remembered this time because I didn't record the ride last time. I have my chest strap. I have extra battery and extra card. So I should be able to bring you along. So let's get to it.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, have a good time out there. And careful at the beginning, it's a little tight. Oop, music's done. All right, thank you everybody for coming.
And the race is underway. So we kick off the event with this 2-mile climb, and it's a pretty steep grade for most of it. So it's a really nice kick or test to get things started. And if you're cold like this morning, which was a pretty cold morning, it's a great way to just warm up real fast. So this was an interesting moment for me to just see how my stomach was feeling and see if I could take anything down, which I really waited to do. But you'll find for the first portion of this ride, I'm pretty quiet. I'm not really talking to the camera or anything like that because I'm very focused on how my stomach is feeling and trying to keep my effort in check so that I don't push too hard. I did find myself wanting to go a little bit harder to hit some of the targets that I had in mind, but just constantly remembering to hold back a little bit so that I could survive the day and survive how my stomach was feeling. So this 2-mile climb at the start really helps test things out. But there's 3 main climbs over this course profile. This first one, that's about 2 miles, and I think it averages 7%. And then the next one comes a little bit before the midway point, and it's about 4 miles. Close to 3% average, so nowhere near as steep. And then the last one is kind of deceiving. It's about 3 miles and another 3% average towards the end, kind of in the last third. But the thing that gets me with it that I didn't remember this year was that after that 3-mile climb, it's actually kind of a steady climb after that. It's not totally flat, so it's a bit more of a climb for another maybe almost 3 miles, and it's super rocky and chunky, so you're trying to finish strong and put out a good effort, but it's really quite difficult. So that gets interesting. You'll see what I'm talking about in a bit when we get there. But one thing that happened throughout this race that I was realizing slowly was that my tire pressure and suspension were way off, and that's kind of a rookie mistake, but it's just kind of comes with me not having ridden my bike outside much. The winter was pretty harsh in terms of snow and cold weather and everything, and just my schedule and everything I'm going to get
Seemed okay in the middle.
more and better training if I'm training indoors. So I hadn't ridden much, and turns out my suspension was 15 to 20 psi under on my fork and my shock, and my tire pressure was a little bit off too. So nothing crazy, but I think I would have been able to push through some sections that I ended up having to walk a good bit. So that's unfortunate, but you know, good lesson learned. And I almost always have I have a notes app on my phone that has my bike set up, and I normally keep it updated with my suspension settings and tokens that I'm using and tire pressure. But I had made some changes last year, especially with losing weight, and I hadn't updated anything. So the settings I had were from when I first got the bike, and turns out I wasn't even on those numbers anyway. So just a big error on my part. But anyway, hope you enjoyed the race footage here. I got a good bit of it, and just to kind of give you some stats of the event as a whole. For me, it was 4 hours and 2 minutes roughly of moving time. I think my timed event time was 4 hours and 6 minutes. It's 32.7 miles, 3,337 feet of elevation gain. I was able to do 218 watts normalized, and that came out to 201 TSS, or 2,526 kJs. So good effort, and as you kind of saw with the teaser, a much better results than I was expecting, and I was able to hold more power than I was expecting given how I was feeling. But you know, it was definitely some hard effort to make it happen. So hope you enjoy the footage, and I'll see you at the end. Tree. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, nice work.
Yeah. Water. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. How's it going?
Oh, it's good.
You're here?
Wasn't sure I'd make it here, so.
Okay. Are you doing the long? Or
Yeah, long.
Okay, we'll see you again then.
Yeah, I'll see you one more time.
Water, heat, or Gatorade?
I'm actually good.
You sure?
Yeah, I got 2 full bottles. I haven't touched them.
Okay, well
You
then
should start touching on this.
Thank you. Hey, Doc.
bad lines. Good night. Whew. Oh no, that's okay. I was gonna jump off, and then I tried. And so close to the right line. Oh, that was a bad choice. I think that's the second worst section on the course, so maybe in the top 3, but one down. Oh. No.
You're looking good, bud.
Yeah, that was. It all looks good until it's not. clipped, but didn't touch. Ooh, that's fun. Guys up here just chit-chatting, and I'm working hard. Ooh. Let's go straight into the rock. On the struggle bus now. Whew. That was some section. Whoa! This is where that super steep part is before the bridge. Not as steep as I remember. Might be thinking somewhere else. Oh. Now we start this trail that we came down, go back on it, and it just takes forever. It's like 3 or 4 miles of climbing. Actually, don't even know if that point has started yet. I think I have another mile before that last big long climb starts. But I'm still here. My stomach is hanging in there, so thank you, Lord. Let's keep it together for 10 more miles. Nice. I always joke that it's like 8 more miles because the last 2 miles are a descent. A steep descent. So we're getting there. And there are actually still a couple more nasty rock gardens. So that dampens the mood a touch, but whatever. The last one is just like a mile or 2 before that final descent, so you're not clear of those until the end. Definitely think my tire pressure is too high. But lesson learned. Getting sloppy. The sections really start to trigger potential cramps. I feel like it's on the edge. Just having to push through the rocks. It just shoots the power up so high. Happy with what I wore. Long sleeve jersey with the Velocio wool base layer thing. It's good. Took the jacket off at the last minute. That kid asked if I thought we would make it in time to see the podiums. And I had no idea, so I just jokingly said, yeah, I don't actually know. I don't remember when they are. Huh. Oh, it's only 1 o'clock. We might make podiums. Unfortunately, just starting that 3-mile climb that I thought I already started. That's fun. We gotta dial it back if I'm gonna finish decently strong. This was a sort of fun descent. Not so fun climb. Still need to keep myself in check because there's still a lot left of this climb section, including some steep spots and more rocky spots. And then the part after the climb is boulder fields, just super rough riding. So I will, if all goes well, keep it in check the rest of this climb. And when I get to the top, in between the boulder fields, I'll do my best to push whatever I have left. So, got 6 miles to the finish, 4 miles to that final descent. Almost didn't make it, but I did. I don't know which way. I think that one was just because I'm tired, but some of those boulder fields, you don't see a trail. Just kind of have to look for the most worn part of the rocks. Oh. Hands are cramping. Going numb for a while there, still happening off and on. Now they're cramping. Oh. Go. Oh. 165 mil cranks on them. Still clipping rocks on the bottom. And this is where I said I'd be pushing as best I can between the rock gardens, but I'm so tired. Oh, whoa. I don't know what number that is, but number 20, almost over the bars. Yep. Okay. Sloppy, but it's done. Alright. That was almost embarrassingly bad, but I also don't care, so. Oh no! Oh no! Huh? Just pogoing all over the place. I highly doubt that I have my suspension set optimally. Wow, my legs are shot. Oh. Not sure it was worth powering through that. It's been so rocky for the last mile, a little over a mile. Could never get my hands back on to turn the camera on, but it's mellowing out, and I think we're almost out of the woods, nearing the descent. Doing great. Almost home. I don't think I'm gonna make 4 hours, but pretty close, which is cool. I got 4 minutes until 4 hours. Just a little more till it descends. had to slow down way too much. Oh, yeah. And that's it, folks. That's all she wrote. Thank you.
Hey, nice job, bud. Nice try.
You see that? Whew, it's a good way to end.
All right. Yeah. Oh, that's a long.
Steve, you got third place, man.
Third in what?
Your Clydesdale category.
Oh, I didn't know you were doing Clydesdale.
Well, you
Hell
signed
yeah.
up for Clydesdale. You just forgot, huh?
I can't remember. I signed up for all of them at the same time.
Oh, cheers. Well, let's see the other two.
Dude, thanks, man.
Not too far. I guess we're actually pretty close. 347 is first place, and you were 406, so within 20 minutes.
406.
Is John O'Brien and Clinton Ronback around?
Well, that's a wrap. I did it. I finished. I actually finished in really good time. I was sort of hoping for that 4-hour mark, but when I started, I had thrown that goal out the window. I didn't think that I should really try for that, but certainly was in the back of my mind. And as I got started, I just kept having to fight the feeling of trying to go at the pace I had originally planned, hitting some of the power numbers that I originally planned. It was hard to hold back a little bit, but I was reminded fairly often as my stomach just wasn't totally feeling it, especially at the beginning, little bit throughout, but at the beginning, taking in water and carbs, like my carb drink was a little uncomfortable, but definitely manageable. I could just feel it a little bit. So, yeah, definitely a surprising end of the day. And even more surprising was this. So third place in the Clydesdale category. And if you don't know, that's for big people. So I think it's usually over 200 pounds. So yeah, that's cool. I think that there were only 3 or 4 or 5 riders, but still, I was in the Clydesdale category before, and I never came close to podiuming, geez, in that category. So yeah, I mean, roughly a 40-minute improvement over last year. I think maybe like 35-minute improvement, and getting a medal. Didn't do the like podium award, so I don't have a photo of that, but I at least got the medal. So yeah, my body held together. I started cramping up at the end, especially as I was pushing at the end. There's a section right before, not right before, like an entire mile or more before I turned the camera on one of the last times. That was just incredibly tough. It was a steady climb out of there, and it was just completely filled with small rocks, enough to just make it really difficult to put down a consistent pace. But I was trying to push. I was trying to like get as close as I could to 4 hours, and I knew it was the end, so I just kept going for it, and it it really took everything out of me. My legs were cramping up pretty good, and I just had to stand around at the finish area eating and drinking just to be like, can I drive home? Is this safe? So I think that happens at the end of every race, actually. So it's great that I lasted as long as I did. So as bad as last night was, and as much as I thought that I might not even come here, and if I made it here, I might not start or finish, to go from that to this, that's pretty great. So season's off to a great start, sort of. I don't really have like a racing season. I don't do that many races, but this was my first outdoor ride in Pennsylvania this year. The only outdoor riding I've done was when we did a road trip up to Maine. And there's some good riding there, but all the trails were closed. So I ended up just doing some road riding. So the mountain bike handling was a little suspect, but wasn't that bad. Wasn't the limiter. I think I learned a little bit about tire pressure. I think it was too high. I don't know what it would have felt like if it was lower. I don't know what the climbs and everything else would have felt like if it was lower, but I was bouncing around. My suspension probably wasn't right. So, and obviously a lot of nutrition lessons learned. So yeah, we'll take it, and really appreciate you coming along, and hope you enjoyed the footage. Leave a comment down below if you have anything else that you want to see, or questions or anything like that, and I'll see if I can address them in the next video or in the next race video. So thanks for tuning in. See you next time.